I'm sitting here, I'm looking, I'm like, man, I'm barely going on a lunch break while Susie Q over here is chilling with their feet propped up and they still get the same check I'm getting.
Purpose driven living, that's the motto. Purpose driven living, boy, that's the motto. If God orders my steps, then I'ma follow. We just steward the gifts that we borrow. Purpose driven living.
So I'm curious to hear from your lens, because I know, like, obviously you have this exercise prescription expertise, you have the nutrition expertise. So many folks put an emphasis on like one or the other. Like when I look on social media or like just any sort of media outlet, it's like folks that are just meatheads all the way in the weight room, or like take this pill and so forth. So I'm curious to hear from your advice, like when you think about folks that have that challenge of having a busy lifestyle, whether it be work and family and so forth, like what is sort of your strategy, or what advice would you give somebody to that are in that sort of that, I guess, world, if you will? They're busy with work and family, you know, physical activity and diet and nutrition is something that they put on the back burner. Like what kind of feedback would you give them to get started?
I would definitely say focus on your nutrition first. And if you feel like you can't work out and do everything, that's fine. Focus on the nutrition first, because that will get you the results first. Because we can't outwork a bad diet at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I can't run you enough, make you do enough push-ups to outwork you going to Starbucks, getting a Frappuccino, going, getting a burger and getting pizza. I can't outwork that.
That's true.
You just can't. So if you can sit down and take the time, and I can teach you how to eat better, what you should be doing, how to plan out your meals, how to prep, that will save you a lot of trouble, and a lot of money. Because a lot of people throw away their money in gyms, and that's why it gets a bad look. They're like, well, I'm not seeing any results. Well, you have to start from the root. What's really going on?
Right.
And look at your nutrition first. And I mean, I've had people who didn't work out, didn't move a muscle, but I told them to stop drinking soda, stop drinking coffee, or you can drink coffee black, but you know,
Okay.
most people don't. Most,
hit his heartstring right now.
yeah, most people don't drink their coffee black. Most people are getting, like I said, the frappuccinos, the mocha latte, whatever. That's 800 calories at the end of the day after they put all those pumps of whatever in it. So they did that and dropped 5 to 10 pounds in 1 week. Didn't move, but it's the fact that they altered their nutrition, and it makes a huge difference. And then once you start seeing those pounds drop off, you're like, man, hey, I just stopped doing this. I didn't even move. What if I start walking 2 days a week, 30 minutes? So it starts when people see results, they begin to get more excited about the journey, and they see, okay, this is encouraging me to keep going. So that's what I would definitely say first, focus on the nutrition.
That's good. No, I think that's a really good rule of thumb, because obviously we get prescribed like, you know, like take these pills and you'll lose weight. But, you know, essentially having a moderate, you know, diet, thinking about what's going into your.
Hi, at Lenore Coaching, we work with a wide variety of job seekers, including students, early career professionals, and experienced professionals, with services including job search strategy, career exploration, personal branding, networking, interview preparation, as well as resume and cover letter writing. So you guys can contact us first by reaching out to our website, which is www.lenorecoaching.com.
You can also contact us via social media. We have Instagram and Facebook pages, Lenore Coaching LLC.
Body. I don't know if you know, but my mentor, G Dub, coach from JMU, his name is slipping my mind here, but it'll come up here. He always used to say calories in versus calories out. And so it's right. If you're like, as an athlete, you are expending a lot of energy, a lot of calories. But you know, when you're sedentary, if you're, you know, working with the family, you haven't done any physical activity, you don't got that sort of luxury. You gotta watch what you eat. So that's good. I appreciate that. Flipping it around, maybe from like the lens, because I want to get in more to the entrepreneur side of how you sort of got started, what's the considerations. But like from the expertise lens, obviously we're talking a little bit about the nutrition, a little bit about like what goes into your program. And if you're kind of giving feedback to somebody that wants to be a personal trainer, Like, what are those considerations? Like, what feedback would you give them? What do they need to like learn, research, skill up to get started to become a personal trainer?
I would definitely say you don't have to be an expert in one thing, and that's what people think. Oh, I need to be a weight loss expert, this expert. No, just look at a certification that's kind of touches everything, so you can find what you really like. Like I know some personal trainers, they only work with people who do CrossFit, who want to win CrossFit competitions, or some personal trainers only work with bodybuilders, or some. So once you get that certification that's broad, that kind of just tells you the basics of exercise and nutrition, then you can start to see, what your niche is. What do you really like to do? Who would you really like to focus on? And I think that's where a lot of trainers go wrong. They just try to specialize too early.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's good. And just out of curiosity, what are your sort of credentials to help, give an illustration of something that personal trainers could pursue?
So my big certification is in ACSM, certified personal training. Also, of course, CPR, AED certified. Certified in TRX certifications, a couple of those. Certified in strength and conditioning with athletes, as well as one of my biggest certifications was a DVC level 1 certification, where I went all the way to Miami to get certified by the trainers that train LeBron, D Wade, a lot of NFL, a lot of big athletes down there, and just kind of see, how their approach on things, and just their outlook, and how they prescribe things for their clients as well. So that's one thing that I would tell someone who's coming in as well, is don't hesitate to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to invest in yourself, how can you expect someone else to invest in you? So that's definitely something I would say. If you see a certification that you really like, invest in yourself and do it, because it's definitely worth it.
Hey, we got it. We've marked that. I think that's super critical. You mentioned it, investing in yourself, and it does sound like from your what you've invested in for your credentials, like you have a wide variety from stuff that's related to the athletes, but also having that exercise prescription nutrition with ACSM. So that's super clutch. So hopefully folks that are kind of thinking about, starting their own business, they can consider, your approach to how you've got skilled up. All right. So I know that, you talked a little bit about from the career decision-making standpoint, you've sort of, went on this pathway, if you will, where, it was initial PT, then you got a chance to get your feet wet as a personal trainer in a private facility, and then the corporate fitness. And then from there, sort of, you made this huge leap, right? This leap of faith. Talk about that, because I want to get into the entrepreneurial standpoint. What was your I guess your cost benefit analysis, return on investment? Like, what was your framework of thought to make the leap, to develop your own business model and leave behind the comfortable, cushy corporate personal training gig? We want to hear that. How did that go?
Hey family, it's your boy Quintrell Lenore here with brand new merch to keep you guys looking good this season. We have long sleeve, short sleeve, as well as hoodies. Check us out at gumroad.com/PDL apparel. We got all the swag you need to stay covered in purpose.
Basically, I felt like, okay, let's say you're not really supposed to do this. Not supposed to compare yourself, but I'm killing myself training because once you give somebody results, they're gonna tell their friends and tell their friends and tell their friends. So I'll give a picture. So for corporate fitness, when I first started working corporate fitness, the fee for the gym for the month was $15 for the month. What you got with that $15 were 2 personal training sessions a week, 2 a week, as well as unlimited group exercise, as well as we had showers and we provided towels, washcloths. So you were getting a lot for $15 a month.
Yeah.
because the corporate side was paying for their associates to make sure that they got what they needed.
They got a setup. That was good. Yeah, that's a
all that to say, if they booked the extra session a month, they could. Really, they're not really, it wasn't really a govern. So I was personal training 15 to 20 clients a day, as well as teaching 5 to 6 group exercise classes a week. Wow. On top of what I was doing in the evening. Like I said, when people start getting results, they start telling their friends. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, I'm barely going on a lunch break while Susie Q over here is chilling with their feet propped up, and they still get the same check I'm getting.
Yeah.
So you start saying, hey, I'm worth so much more than this. I'm bringing y'all so much, but you start to realize that you're just worth more, and you can't continue to burn the candle on both ends and still give my client that I see at 6 or 5:30 a.m. the same energy that I can give at 6 p.m. Right. You just can't. So you just have to start thinking for yourself, and in the long run of the toll that it takes on yourself and on your body as well. And I got to a point where it was hard for me to work out. It was hard for me to be motivated to take care of me, because you're just exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't take back. That being said, I don't regret, anything in the corporate world as well, because I learned a lot. And that's what I say as well. If you're not ready to go out on your own, it's fine, but use them because they're using you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you could get paid so much more, but they're using you. So use them in a sense of they're going to pay for your CEUs, your continuing education. So use them. They paid for half of my trip to Miami. Use them. Use them. No, so that's a big thing too. So I try to get, my big certifications while I was there. And just really working on my clientele, making sure they got results. So when I left, I still have clients from corporate as well as commercial fitness from gyms that I started training at, when I first graduated from college, still reaching back out because they see the benefit, they see the value, and they'll continue to follow you where you go.
Yeah, no, that's honestly their feedback of how you saw like, you pretty much getting a huge workload of clientele, and you're still getting paid the same as somebody that has 0 clients, right? That's a critical assessment. But I like what you mentioned in terms of like using your employer. It sounds bad when you say it, but it's really not. Like, you were really productive as an employee. Like, you helped them retain their corporate partners that were participating in that program, and it showed how we can sort of take that same approach for any creative venture, entrepreneur venture, whatever it might be. Because if you think about for how you've leveraged the credentials, your certifications while you were there, right? And obviously this has paid dividends for you on the private side for your own business. That's an approach we all can think about, for us that, we're got one foot in the door. Like we're here in our 9-to-5s, and we're tinkering around with our...
Hey, what's going on, family? Do not forget to check out the music that inspired the movement, PDL. This project is by yours truly, Ciarra Lenore. It's streaming on all major platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, you name it, go check it out. This project was produced by Dilly Got It Bumpin'. It's awesome music to help you guys stay motivated and to worship in this season.
Our businesses, our side hustles, maximize where you are. Like, some of us are just not ready to make the full leap, and that's perfectly okay. It does take time, but it sounds like you've done that you've maximized where you were when you were training for the corporate training. And the cool thing too is, like, I picked up on you, like your marketing strategy. You sort of realized that, my work ethic is going to pay dividends in terms of retaining future clients. So that, I'm assuming, it's a strategy that you're taking on the private side, where if I do a good job, like, people are gonna, advocate and tell the work that I'm doing. So that should be a huge marketing, technique for all of us as well. I'm curious to hear for you, like, there's so many different business models. And I think, for yourself, you've been exposed to a few working for another employer. I'm curious to hear, like, how you've decided to structure your services, the gambit of different services that you do provide. Essentially, like, tell us, how do you make money? And I'm not asking for you to give us a figure, but just giving us an idea for how do you structure your services.
So in fitness, there's so many avenues to go and so much to do. And it's hard to just focus on one thing and to being more open-minded to things, especially with everything going on in the pandemic. So literally everything shut down. Gyms shut down completely at first last March. So I had to rethink everything. Went from completely training in person to now, okay, I need to figure out this virtual world.
Yeah.
But I made that switch quickly because you have to be able to adapt to the times. So now I offer in-person training as well as virtual and as well as online training. The difference between online and virtual is what some people don't understand is virtual is like what we're doing right now. You see me, I see you as you're working out. Online is none of this. You don't see me. It's I break down a plan for you, a nutrition plan, a workout plan, and you go through that plan on your own. We do check-ins. I can see your progress, all of that, but there's no face-to-face while you're working out.
Purpose driven living, that's the motto. Purpose driven living, boy, that's the motto.